What's up, guys? Dustin McDaniels back here with another franchise mode video here with the San Jose Sharks. And if you guys have been enjoying this series, be sure to drop a like on this video. We are coming to the end here, which I think I'm going to be making this our last season here with the Sharks, since NHL 21 should be coming out here within the next week. So this will be this season will be probably the last season here with the San Jose Sharks, and see what we can actually do and see if we can make a sort of push here to the Stanley Cup and see if we can win it. But we have some contracts here that we do have to take care of. We do unfortunately not have a lot of room here on the books. We won't be able to sign Shore back just because he's wanting too much. We don't have too much space. We only have $2.48 million to work with, and he wants $3 million. Hartman does want to re-sign, so I'm willing to give him $1.75 for 3 years. I feel like that would be a great little deal. Ferraro does want $1 million, I believe. Here, let's take a look. He wants $1 million essentially, but we'll have to wait and see sort of what Hartman says. And then we have a bunch of sort of AHL guys that we need to sort of sign back as well. So definitely going to need to try and get those guys signed. Obviously try and do our best to get as many as possible signed back, just so we have some decent depth there in our AHL system, with a lot of guys actually wanting a sort of a restricted free agency. But a lot of these guys have some pretty good deals that we could definitely offer them up here, and hopefully they'll be able to take them. Sokolov there wanting the 1 year there. We'll give him a little bit more than he wants. And then this guy right here, Elmark, doesn't even want to re-sign with us, which is kind of surprising, so we'll give him a little bit more for 1 year. See what he says, advance a day. And we do have a couple scouts here that I did sort of take care of off-screen. Hartman going to reject the contract. Dollar value, Carrick. Gallant signs, Sokolov signs, so we were able to basically re-sign the majority of our AHL guys. Obviously we want to try and shore up the rest of them here. Carrick, obviously want to get him re-signed at that two-way deal. And then we can go ahead and take a look here at Hartman. He is sort of a decent piece there on our fourth line, and would love to get him back into the team. And so I'm willing to go 1.8 for Hartman for 3 years. What does he want for 2? He wants a little bit cheaper, so honestly just go for the 2 years at 1.8. I feel like that is a great deal for a fourth line player. And then let's go ahead and take a look here at some other guys. Possibly, I did sign our rookies, so we have them signed to the club. Let's see where they are. Yep, so we got McCabe signed, so he's on the squad. We also got Lark on the squad as well. 17 years of age, pretty impressive to see that. Trying to think here, do we need to sign our goalies? It's the real question. We do need to sign Brosette. We've got Spezza here that we need to re-sign as well, and he actually wants a pretty decent deal. Oh man, he wants a lot of money. So for 2 years, we're gonna go for the 8.75. See if he goes for that. Havlet here. We could honestly promote Spezza as our backup for the NHL. I'd be okay with that, and sort of letting Brosette walk, just because I don't know how much he wants. 1.6. So going to sort of see what Spezza says. Obviously we get our scout there for those last two there, and Hartman gonna reject. Carrick and Havlet, easy decisions. Spezza rejects the contract, so we need to try and work on Spezza here to get him signed. Honestly, I'll give him almost $1 million for 2 years. See what he says to that, and then let's go back to our main roster here. I really want to try and get Hartman re-signed for the squad. If we got to give him, I'd say 1.95, I feel like is a fair deal for 2 years. If he doesn't accept that, we might have to walk away from Hartman and possibly pick up a new sort of starting fourth line right winger. So let's go ahead, simulate here another day. We get another scout. Oh man, Hartman rejects and Spezza rejects. So we need to try and keep working on these guys here to see if we can give them a deal that they want. Honestly, if we got, he wants a one-way, 2 years. honestly, 3 years, and we'll give him that 1.4 asking price he wants. I feel like that's a fair deal for Spezza. We might need to let Hartman walk. Spezza rejects. Man, this is some crazy stuff here. What if we give him 1.175? Oh, man, I don't know. 1.3 for 2 years. I feel like that is a fair offer. We'll go ahead and simulate another day. Today is the final day of re-signing. Oh, and Spezza is signed, so we're able to sign him up. We will let go our Brosette there. And let's see here. We only have 1.9 left in our pool here, so we're going to have to let Shore go. And then let's see if we can get Hartman here on this last possible day here. I'd say 1 year at 1.7. I feel like we might be able to get him for that. If not, we'll have to pick up a new sort of right winger. We'll release Ferraro as we can bring up our AHL or our new signees from the draft. Elmark here. See what he wants. I mean, he wants a two-way deal. We'll give him that. Hopefully he re-signs that. And got a couple guys here near the bottom that we could possibly sign as well. And I'm okay with giving them sort of those two-way deals, which is perfectly fine. Sign those guys up to the squad. Obviously, don't want to let them get away. And then we'll advance this day and see. Man, Hartman decides to reject. We're able to get sort of those kids here on the two-way deals. Elmark decides to reject his sort of role, and we are on here to free agency, guys. So let's go ahead. We're going to need a new fourth line right winger, but I'm pretty intrigued actually to see sort of what the free agency market looks like. Holy smokes. We got a ton of restricted free agents here up for grabs, but we need a new sort of fourth line right winger at 1.9 million, which is going to be probably tough to find here. Scheissinen, he doesn't really fit. Zackas and Reese, bottom 6 forward lines, he does fit at 1.9, which wouldn't be a bad shout. Richard Panik, actually not too bad. Does he fit top 6 forward lines? That would have been really nice. We got Shaw here. Jamie Shaw from Ukraine. What a weird all forward lines. Ooh, restricted free agent. Honestly, that would be a nice little shout. At 1.7, we'll give him 1.8 for 2 years. I feel like that would be a nice little deal. This year's third round pick, perfectly fine with that. Currently considering other offers, which is perfectly fine with me. Hartman only wanted he only wanted 1.7. Like, come on now. So we will definitely take a look here and see sort of hopefully we can sort of pick him up. Obviously these restricted free agents we will not be able to touch. Ovechkin, 83 overall, kind of crazy, only fits our fourth line. Intrigued to see the goalies here. What do we got for goalies? Hellebuck is a free agent. That's kind of crazy. Anderson, Subban, Leonard, Nedeljkovic, Varlamov, Dell, Brosette. So crazy goaltenders up for grabs here. But we're really just trying to go for that fourth line player is really all we need as we get some offers there in a trade. So hopefully we are able to sign this fourth line player. Oh, sweet. He's decided to accept the offer, but the deal is not done just yet. I'm not able to join your team. My previous team still may decide to sort of match our offer, so we have to wait for them to possibly match. We're getting some offers here for picks. Hopefully... Oh, man, the Nashville Predators. Dang, we miss out on that right winger. That is such a bummer. But honestly, let's go back at it here in the free agency. I mean, we could even call up somebody from the AHL, give them a chance here. But just taking a look here, Nyquist, $3 million. He's awful now. Zach Aston Reese still on the board. I'm trying to see here. He does fit the bottom 6 forward lines. So honestly, we'll go for Zach Aston Reese here at the 1.9 million mark for 1 year. Perfectly fine with that. And if we need to sort of make some trades, we can definitely make some trades since this is going to be our last year with the San Jose Sharks. So definitely interesting to see sort of if he does sign that. So we are all set and ready to go here to eventually get to our lineups here. So let's go ahead, sim to the next season and see what our lineups will look like. So we have a trade offer for a 2nd round pick and our 5th round pick for Lehkonen and a 5th round pick here from the Red Wings. He does only fit our 2nd forward line, but he does fit all of our power play and penalty killing lines. So honestly going to stay away from that. Was a decent offer, but definitely not good enough here for us sort of moving forward. So we'll hopefully get eventually to our lineup so we can sort of make some moves here, as we are just waiting for that to pop up. So I will catch you guys in just a moment. So here is our starting lineup, guys. We have got a topped stack 2. Obviously, Niederreiter, not what I want him on that line, although he is up to an 86 right now with that +3. We've got a very stacked 3rd line with Ho-Sang, Kunin, and Bertuzzi. I could try and move them around, but I don't want to take away those +3s to our top 2 lines. Obviously, we need to try and work a way to get a 4th line centerman to possibly slide him in there, but we've thrown McCabe here on the first pairing for defense with Thomas Chabot, getting him up overall +3. Obviously, our 2nd line pairing here with Zabril and Slavin is looking pretty good, and then we've got Merkley and Pollock there for the 3rd line pairing at that +1. Taking a look here at our AHL, obviously we've got O'Rourke and Meloche as that top pair, not too bad. I'm trying to see where exactly our other sort of draft pick defenseman is, and I don't know if he is in the NHL at all. So let's take a look here and see where he is. He still might be in juniors, so if that's the case, we might want to go ahead and try and possibly trade him. Let's take a look here and see where he is at. Is he still in juniors? Oh my goodness, he's still in juniors. So unfortunately, we're going to have to try and get rid of him. I know the best thing to do would be to keep him, but since this is technically our last year, we can try and move him out for a big piece here to possibly make a push here for the playoffs. But let's go ahead and sort of take a look and see sort of what moves we can make to possibly get a 4th line centerman. So we've got a trade offer here for Nino Niederreiter for Nick Bjugstad and a 2nd round pick from the Edmonton Oilers. That trade is rejected, so probably have to bump that down to a 3rd round pick here next year from the Carolina Hurricanes, see if that works. So again, we might need to bump this down. Bjugstad does fit our 4th line, and that trade is accepted, so definitely go here and see what we can do. With Nick Bjugstad, obviously we want to try and get him into the lineup and get him on that 4th line. Hopefully it gets a plus on that 4th line. He does bring some size and some sort of seniority since he is a little bit older here. He does get that +1 on that 4th line, so honestly our lineup is looking pretty stacked right now to try and make a run here for the Cup this year. So let's go ahead and see sort of what we can do here with this team moving forward into this season. So here we are taking a look at our team here, simulating through the preseason, not getting off to a good start, but we were able to bounce back with 2 victories against the Golden Knights and Anaheim Mighty Ducks before losing the next couple games. But here we are here, final game against the Edmonton Oilers, and we are able to get a 5-3 victory. So starting off the season pretty strong. So let's go ahead, hop into our first game of the regular season here to see how the boys do. I mean, our top 2 lines are absolutely stacked. I actually do first want to quickly look at how our power play is set up to make sure and see that it is sort of what we want it to be, having like a +3 or whatever it might be. So we got the +1 right now on both of them. Man, that's interesting. I'd rather have Jake Gensel obviously on this top unit. Moving him around, who could possibly fit a little bit better? Alex Tuch doesn't really fit on that first power play. We could get Domi on there. That gets the +3 there, which then sort of changes some things up here for the second power play, but let's get McCormick on there. Should get that +1 there, which is nice. And honestly, I think we're going to roll with that here for those power plays. Who doesn't fit that second one? So Bertuzzi doesn't really fit that second power play. Neither does McCormick, which is quite interesting. But we will roll with that for the power plays to see how that plays out. Perfectly fine with that. Hopefully the boys do well this year with these lines and everything, and pray that no injuries sort of occur. But let's go ahead, simulate here. We'll go month for month. We won't sort of intervene at all. So let's go ahead, able to get some victories right out of the gate here. 2-0 to start the season. Make that 3-0. Things are looking good here for the Sharks. Getting up and 5-0 to start the season. Obviously, that will eventually happen as we take a 9-1 loss there against the Columbus Blue Jackets before coming back, winning against the Flames, and then losing 2 games in a row there before coming back and beating the Colorado Avalanche here against the hated Golden Knights, able to get a victory. We lose to the Islanders, and then let's go ahead and simulate this last game of the month to finish out the month of October, and we are able to walk away there 9-3-1 from the month of October. Not too shabby here, so we will go ahead, simulate up through this month of November to see how the boys do. So far so good on the injury front. Haven't seen anything yet here. Not starting the month off strong at all as we lose the first 2 before winning against the Ducks and then losing in a shootout to the Dallas Stars. Quite interesting here as we are simulating through this season here. Mara, don't want to go ahead and take that, so we might possibly make a change in the back end to bring in possibly a better defenseman to sort of shore up our lineup at the back end. Maybe move out Pollock or someone to try and bring in somebody a little bit better, but sort of back and forth month here with wins and losses, but we finish off the month strong with 3 wins in a row. Tied for first place in the Pacific Division. Let's take a look here at how the points are going so far. For the team, Domi leading the way in points. Crazy to see that. Take a look here and see Tuck also sort of doing well. Olofsson, McCormick, Dylan Larkin not having a great year. 22 and 27. Bertuzzi doing pretty well. Gensel not having a great season either. So we might need to switch some things up here with the lines to see what we can do here and possibly change things up. Maybe even get some like +5s or something like that. But let's just take a look here. If we were to move McCormick up, that would get rid of that +3. Obviously, we don't want that. And Bertuzzi, we don't want to move him up too far. Tuck is playing pretty well, so I don't want to move him too far around in the lineup. So honestly, the way we have it right now is probably the best way to have it. As Blitchfield, we might be able to pick up a better left winger for our 4th line, and then possibly we could move Pollock out. Although he is playing pretty, he is -3, no points in 27 games. Merkley not doing too bad. I'm assuming most of his points are coming on the power play, but McCabe already up to an 80 overall playing on that first line with Shavot, which is really nice to see. We've got him +8, which is super nice. 2-way defender, great player. We could, I don't want to move him off that first line with that +3. He's up to an 83 right now, so possibly could get a new 4th line left winger and then even a new sort of 3rd line defenseman. So let's go ahead and take a look into that and see what we can upgrade. So we've got a trade offer here for Sam Poulin. He does fit our bottom 6 forward lines. This trade honestly might go through with that 2nd round pick, but they're not willing to bite on that. So we might need to throw in sort of a deal sweetener here. Can take a look here. Rookie goalies don't really have the luxury of giving that up. I mean, we could give them Milroy, but I don't want to give them too much here. Could give them Ling, which I'd be okay with. Nice prospect there for Sam Poulin. They don't go for it, which is quite interesting, so we might need to bump that up. Might have to give them Sanderson because he might be a project, so we'll offer that trade. Trade is accepted, and going to the roster moves here to make sure Poulin is up on the NHL team, and he is indeed so. So let's go ahead, throw him into the lineup here. Hopefully he does fit this bottom line. I mean, it said he fits the bottom 6 forward lines, and he does give that +1, so that is really nice to see. 80 overall, Poulin, nice to sort of get him into the lineup. But let's go ahead, continue on with our simulation, and hopefully we can continue sort of the good things moving forward here with this season. I mean, 17-6-4, not too bad. Definitely gave up a lot there, but it is what it is. Got to do what we got to do here in this last season here with the San Jose Sharks, as we will simulate through this entire season here in this episode to see if we make the playoffs. I mean, hopefully we do with this team. I mean, they are pretty stacked here, losing the first game of the month to the Flyers, beating the Jets, and then losing to the Penguins. So back and forth with wins and losses here. Mara sort of getting some trade offers there. We get a win there against the Avalanche here before playing the defending Stanley Cup champions and losing 3-0 to them. So unfortunate to see. We lose to the Rangers but beat the Devils. We beat the Lightning. Can we beat the Leafs? And we are able to do so 5-1 here against the Vegas Golden Knights. We lose 2-1, unfortunately. So things are looking good so far this season. We are playing pretty well. The team is in good position right now as we win our last game of the month of December before getting into the new year, 24-12-4. As we will go ahead and simulate through here to essentially the All-Star break and see how the boys continue to fare. Hopefully they will do well here. A shootout loss to start the month to the Calgary Flames before beating the Coyotes and the Panthers here against the Rangers, able to beat them in overtime. A loss to the Blues, a loss to the Bruins, and then hopefully we can do well against the Stars, and we are able to win 4-3 in the shootout before losing to the Carolina Hurricanes, but beating the Columbus Blue Jackets in a shootout. So boys are playing pretty well. Beat the Predators the game before the All-Star break, and we are sitting pretty right now. Ooh, that could be an interesting trade offer. I know O'Rourke was sort of a project, but he never really panned out here in our simulation. Oh, he's only at 81. I thought he would have been a little bit higher, so I don't want to give up O'Rourke for that. But the team is doing pretty well. Fabry here for a first-round pick. That would be pretty sweet to see if he would fit our lineup, which I have no idea if he does or not. He does not, so kind of a bummer. Would have been pretty cool to actually get him into the lineup, but again, we're sitting pretty with 65 points here, leading our division by a game right now. But here after the All-Star break, we will simulate right before the trade deadline to see if we need to make any more possible trades. Thankfully, no injuries. I don't want to jinx it here, knock on wood, but no injuries so far here in the simulation. Don't know why that is, but again, I'm not going to jinx it here. So we win our first 4 games of the month, extending our lead here in the division, but the Flames are sticking with us, so kudos to them, honestly, as we are getting here Shaw. Ooh, I don't want to give up Mara and a first-round pick. That would be a little much, as we're starting to get some trade offers here for some players. Game against the Kings, we lose 4-1. Pietrangelo to Chicago, which kind of sucks because they are a top team in their division in the Central. But hopefully we can sort of keep playing well here in this month. Oh man, Shaw to Boston and nothing really to Minnesota. We lose 3 games in a row actually, so we really need to pick it up. We get a victory against the Flyers. We're tied for the lead here in the division, and we are actually down in the division right now. Nashville gets DiPietro between the pipes, or New Jersey, pardon me, gets gets DiPietro, but they give up a couple second-round picks to actually get him. Able to beat the Ducks and hop back up on top of the division lead. And we will stop the simulation here to take a look and see how our team is doing. As the Kings want some picks for a player, we're able to beat the Kings, and we are sitting pretty right now on top of the standings here in our division. Are we on top in the Western Conference is the real question. We are not. We're just 1 point behind the Chicago Blackhawks, but man, Domi really put in a good season. Honestly, Larkin isn't playing that great. I mean, I don't want to trade our captain away, but I mean, he's got 55 points in 62 games. Not terrible, but obviously not great. 93 overall. We could look to trade Dylan Larkin here for a big time centerman. So let's actually take a look and see if it is possible to actually trade him for maybe a better centerman right now. Big time trade offer here, guys. We've got Larkin for McDavid. McDavid only has the 1 year left on his deal. But I mean, he is having a pretty big season right now. 32 goals, 30 assists. Obviously, Larkin, 21 goals, 34 assists. He is -2. Larkin's only up sort of even on that scale. He does fit our first line. I'm excited to see if this will go through. The trade is rejected. So let's actually throw in a quick little pick here. Honestly, even a rookie skater wouldn't be a bad little shot. We can throw Ling in there to try and get the thing in our favor here. Trade is rejected. So actually, let's swap Ling out with a draft pick here. Trying to think what we should possibly give up. Honestly, give a second-round pick. Second-round pick Larkin for McDavid. The trade is accepted. Guys, we just traded away our captain, and 2, we actually just picked up Connor McDavid on our team. Things are getting crazy this year right now. I mean, I hope he gives that +3 to the top line. That would be great. Obviously, Larkin gave that +3, but let's hope McDavid can get that +3. Oh, he gets a +5, guys. That is a big-time trade that we just pulled off right there, guys. Big-time stuff, bringing in McDavid, getting rid of Larkin, but he gets a +5, guys, on that top line. Connor McDavid is technically a 101 overall player right now. Absolute mental. Crazy stuff going on right now, guys, as we are trying to make a push here for the Stanley Cup. That is absolutely crazy, guys. Can we... Oh, yeah, I'm not touching that first line the rest of the year. Gensel, McDavid, Tuck are staying together the rest of the way. With that +5, they could possibly get us a Stanley Cup. That would be insane. Obviously, don't want to jinx it right now, but big-time moves here. Picking up McDavid here right at the trade deadline, guys. So, I don't know if I want to make any more moves. We could possibly move Ho-Sang, just because he doesn't fit that third line, and maybe even move a centerman just because I want to try and get like a +3 possibly on that third line. So honestly, we might want to try and move Kunin, because Ho-Sang, what line does he actually... He fits the first line. Are you kidding me? I don't want to put him on the first line, so honestly, we're just going to leave it at that. No more trades, no more nothing. Actually, we might... Let's try and actually move... we could move Pollock. We could possibly move Roman Pollock. Let's take a look, because I do want to try and shore up our defense here. Let's just take a look here at what his actual... Oh, man, his value has pretty much tanked. But let's go ahead and try and see if we can find a move here for Pollock. All right, here, a little bit more sensible of a pickup here. Olli Maatta from the Montreal Canadiens. He is top 4 defenseman. He does fit all of our pairings. It would be a nice little swap here with Pollock. Trade is accepted, so we've gone ahead, picked up Olli Maatta for our defensive back end. So hopefully so we can throw him in there, and he can sort of pick up some pluses here. So let's take a look at our defense. Obviously, he would slide in here to this bottom pairing here. Olli Maatta, he gets the +1, so not too mad about that. Obviously, we'll keep him there. So our defense, we don't have anyone under 83. Look at McCabe. Jeffrey McCabe already at an 84. So putting him on that top pairing, that was absolutely clutch for this year. But super stoked to see where this team goes from here with McDavid on our top line. Is he even our team leader as well? He is, after getting him through, but the trade deadline, we are all done with that now. Obviously, got to get through the rest of this month of February and hop into the month of March. But I am super excited here for the rest of the year with this team. Obviously, some big trades there. Velarde going somewhere. We lose to the Winnipeg Jets after the trade deadline. We beat the Blackhawks. We lose to the Canucks, but we beat the Predators. So hopefully we can continue. McDavid against his old team beats them 9-2. So crazy stuff there. We've got 91 points on the year, guys. would be a very disappointing end of the season if we can't sort of pull out a big time push here for the Stanley Cup, as going back and forth here with our wins and losses. It looks like obviously we want to try and go into the playoffs here with the number 1 seed in the West, but it looks like we are in a battle here for that top spot. 101 is the mark set by the Flames. I don't think we're going to catch up to that, but so far I think we might slide into that number 2 position in our division. Finishing up this year, guys, 46, 25, and 8 right now. We lose to the Ducks, we lose to the Oilers, and we lose to the Kings. So not, oh man, we slide down to 3rd in the division. Not what you want to see at the end of the year after making all those big time trades. McDavid, I mean, he put up points with us here. Man, that is so disappointing. I kind of want to take a look at our goaltender stats to just see how they finished up. Olofsson with a big time year. Obviously Domi, McCormick, Gensel, all putting up great years. But let's take a look at our goaltenders. 71 games, 39, 23, and 7. Honestly, he put up decent numbers, but Spezza not putting up the best of numbers for 83 overall, .885, and a 3.32 goals against average. But that's going to be it for today's episode, guys. Next episode, obviously, is going to be focused on the playoffs. Hopefully, we can make a deep run. Let's actually check and see here who we are going to be facing here in the playoffs. It should be the Vegas Golden Knights, if I'm not mistaken, and it is. So the rivalry is renewed here in the playoffs, guys. Hopefully, we are able to pull through with McDavid leading the way with that +5 with Tuch and Gensel. But that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, be sure to drop a thumbs up on this, and be sure to subscribe so you guys aren't missing out on any future content. I hope you guys have a good one, and as always, stay dusty.